Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mayor Malfara, and I'm the Deputy Executive Director for the Electrical Association of Philadelphia. This afternoon, I am joined with my colleague Matt Dibert, as well as our presenter Fran McGovern with Leviton. Before we get started, please note that because we are recording today's session, your cameras and mics have both been turned off. You are welcome and encouraged to ask questions using the chat feature. They will be answered toward the end of the presentation. I would also like to thank Billows Electric Supply Company for sponsoring today's virtual trade talk featuring Leviton. It is now my pleasure to introduce Fran McGovern. Fran has been with Leviton for 32 years, with the last 15 years as Mid-Atlantic Region Sales Director. His previous roles included sales and marketing in the Metro Philadelphia area. Now, I would like to turn it over to Fran. Fran?
Great. Good afternoon, Mayor. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for your attendance today. We always enjoy doing activities with the Electrical Association of Philadelphia and the team. We see a lot of value in that and something we look forward to continuing in the future. I'm happy to join you from the Leviton facility in Morganton, North Carolina. We're proud to say that we make all of our residential devices at this plant in America. We're one of the few remaining manufacturers making standard 15 and 20 amp switches, receptacles, tamper-resistant products in this plant with over 500 employees. So we've been here for about 55 years and have made major investments and look forward to continuing our family heritage into the future. What we tried to do today is put together just some content on new products and things that Leviton's doing in the market, and knowing that our audience and the Electrical Association covers many varied industries and types of contractors and distributors. So we're going to touch upon both residential, commercial, new technology, and some new products that do cross into some NEC code areas. So we'll keep it moving, but we think we have some nice content we wanted to share with you. And we were talking earlier in advance of the 2024 Electrical Association of Philadelphia trade show. It's fast approaching. I guess we're almost less than a year out now. So I'm sure we'll have many other new products to show at that. But everyone circle those dates on your calendar for 2024. So Leviton's done a lot of things, and I guess there's a couple constants that we see at Leviton in our industry. What can you do in terms of making the installation easier and safer? What can you do to make the overall solution more energy efficient? And what can you do to also make it an advancement in technology? So they're the three areas we're going to cover today. Leviton came out with a residential load center. And that's really not the purpose of today's call, but we did some neat things there as it relates to bringing smart breakers to the marketplace, making some installation changes. And our next slide you're going to see is a new labor-saving solution for the residential market. There's a lot of labor-saving solutions out there. We are in a lot of cases at a labor or manpower disadvantage right now, where contractors are saying it's hard to get younger folks to come into our profession. So a lot of emphasis has been placed upon what can we do as a manufacturer to make our products easier and safer to install. And what you see on the screen now is a new line of Decora devices, which we call Leviton Edge. And this is what we think one of the first advancements in the residential area to try to take a little bit of time out of a basic switch and receptacle installation, but not burden it too much with extra cost and not making it too complicated. So what you'll see when you look at the product, first off, the line itself consists of single pole and three-way Decora switches and a 15 amp tamper resistant receptacle. So really not a wide range of products. However, they are the products most commonly used in a typical residential, either a new home, a renovation, an apartment building. So, definitely the three or four products that you're going to touch upon the most in those type of installations. You look and you'll see the levers on the side of the white device. and they're all color coded. So in this case, for the switch, you see the green, and we'll see on the next slide, that's for your ground wire. And then you have your hot and neutral wires on the switch and receptacle. So in addition to being a nice looking device, everything is color coded on the install. And one of the things that we also did, hard to see on the slide, but we actually elongated the strap. So one of the things that comes up quite often is, hey, especially in a 2 or 3 gang application, that middle switch doesn't line up properly with the wall plate. So the strap itself, you'll see, has a tongue and groove design where each of the devices kind of interlock to each other and assures that proper alignment. So seems like a little thing, but in our introduction of the product in the last 3-4 months, the contractors, they were really more interested in that feature than even the labor savings, which I'll let Matt advance the slide and we'll see how this product works. So the first thing you'll see is that it is a back wire device, but it's not a stab-in feature. A lot of times when people look at it, they say, "Well, I always wrap the screw, wrap the hot and neutral around the screw. I feel that's a better connection," and we don't disagree with that. Obviously, we've been making switches and receptacles for 117 years, and I still think that's the best installation. However, we do have folks that are doing high volume that do want to install the product in a faster manner. And this is almost like having an internal Wego. Those little levers lift up, as you can see to the left there. You push your number 14 or number 12 wire. So this will take a number 12. You'll push that into the back wiring hole, and then you simply, in step 2 there, click and push that lever down. It grabs that wire, it locks it in place, very, very firmly. And at that point, really, you're done and you're in the position where you can start to install the device right to the box. So really, those 3 easy steps, just as we're highlighting, push, click, done. That's really, as easy as that would install. And as I mentioned, everything is color coded. And again, right now in a Decora only style, but we're excited about it because, again, it's a labor saver for the residential market, but also a very, very safe product and an enhancement over the traditional, back wiring method. And just looking at it again, this is probably a nicer view of it. Again, you see the switch and receptacle, how they interlock. Again, the levers themselves, the receptacles, obviously, because of the code requirements, are tamper resistant. Couple contractors mentioned they liked it because there were no exposed metal parts, so you didn't worry about something shorting out or arcing out. And you'll see you have on the strap there, the self-grounding clip. So if you were using metal boxes, the device itself would be grounded through that grounding clip you see in the upper left-hand corner. So again, just a new device on the residential side. We have lots of collateral out there, to support the product. If you needed some samples, my contact information, you'll see at the end of the presentation. Be more than happy to send you a box of 10 or 20 to get started and try them on a job. Right now, since we're in our introductory phase, we are introducing the product in just the color white. And I guess a bit of a trivia question, and I'll give everybody the answer, but right now, 86% of what Leviton makes that goes into new homes or new apartments is the color white. So it's funny, in my long career with Leviton, probably with ivory was the popular color in the early 1990s, and we went through a period where light almond had a run, and currently, even though we still do offer those colors, white is the predominant color going into both home remodeling and new home construction. So but if you needed, again, any marketing information to help promote it on your own website, you'll be able to get my contact information at the end. Staying in the residential area, another really new and exciting product is the whole area of USB charging. And it was funny because, when we first introduced our line of USB receptacles, probably at this point, maybe 10 years ago, there were some folks at Leviton that said, "Hey, we're never going to sell this product because when you get your phone, you get a charger. Why would anyone want to, buy a receptacle or pull a standard receptacle out and put in a USB?" Well, we all know technology has just taken over the world, and we're charging not only phones now but laptops and iPads and and really many things. So having that readily accessible, at your bedstand or nightstand, certainly in the kitchen countertop is a popular area where we see folks looking to charge. And I'll let Matt, advance to the next screen, and you'll see some of the things that are out there that are available from Leviton. And you'll see again, looking at the the cluttered mess you see on certain situations where you have adapters and things of that nature. The device that has a duplex receptacle, but also has both A and C connectors as they relate to the USB charging. Really nice and clean looking. So I think on the next slide you'll see one of the things that Leviton is really advanced in is that we have a wide range, and I mentioned you need different power requirements when you're trying to charge a laptop versus an iPhone. And we're one of the few manufacturers that has, let's say, multiple versions to select from. You can get a basic 5 amp. I was even shopping at Costco the other week, and they're selling USB chargers. But when you look at the performance and the output on it, it might take you 8 hours to actually charge a phone or a laptop using some of the devices that they were offering. Also, the Type C connector, which is the smaller connector, is something that as Matt and Mayor and I were reviewing our presentation, we're saying that's really what most of the new phones are coming with, is that Type C charger. And you're going to see that become an industry standard, not really a Leviton thing, but more of an Apple, a Samsung, a Lenovo, that those folks are really driving the move to the Type C connector. This kind of gives you a real nice snapshot. First off, you see the Type C connectors. One of the nice things about the Type C connector, if you haven't messed with it, is that it's bidirectional. And what I mean by that, if you have the old style Type A, you all know that's keyed in such a manner that you need to put it in a certain way. So you may be trying to plug it in, it's not working. You flip it over, okay, now it slides in, no problem. The Type C is really a universal connection, so it should slide in just from any angle, so to speak. We do have the 30 watt and 60 watt offering. We like to say it's a good, better, best solution for you. So you may not need a 60 watt to charge a phone because that is a heck of a lot of power. But if you were in a position or if you're out and you're servicing institutional customers, whether it be schools, colleges, universities, where they are charging and they have the desire to charge laptops, they are having that 60 watt charger is a very, very nice feature because that will give you, full performance equal to whatever the manufacturer is giving you when you purchase, the product. So Leviton likes to think that, if you're in a cost competitive environment and you need a basic 30 watt, we have that. The middle one is a 30 watt with power delivery. And what power delivery gives you is that Leviton's incorporated some technology that we've licensed from Texas Instrument that knows the difference between a phone and a laptop or an iPad. So it's able to decode how much power needs to be given to each port. So it's not wasting any power, but it's delivering power in a fashion that is going to be optimally performance for your device. And I think on the next slide, this is really the thing that really highlights everything that Leviton has, from the traditional, the larger size USB openings, which is a Type A, to the more advanced Type C that we spoke about on the previous slide. And then even to the right, you'll see the GUAC1. That is a combination GFI and USB. We all know with the National Electric Code, there are certain areas in a home, namely areas where water and electricity coexist, kitchen countertops, bathrooms, outdoor receptacles, garage areas where you do need to have GFI. Now, Leviton is one of the few manufacturers that offers the combination GFI and USB all in one. So I will say on that device where you have the GFI, it is a very deep device when you think about all that technology. So you certainly if possible, would want a deep box, a 20 cubic inch box to make the overall installation easier and painless for everybody. But again, if you're in a position where you're looking for USB charging, Leviton has a whole host of great products, as you can see here, to really cater to any need, both residential, commercial, and industrial. Again, another new product that really, this one is very new, just about 30 days now. And Leviton has always been one of the leaders in GFI technology and GFI, circuitry. But we now have and are introducing a Wi-Fi enabled GFI. And at first you may be thinking, well, why would I need that? I've had, the first GFI receptacle was introduced in 1972, and yes, they have gotten shallower and easier to wire and better in outdoor requirements, but why would I need a Wi-Fi enabled one? And Matt, you could advance the next slide. The reason for that, there are certain areas in a home, let's say a garage area or a basement area, where you may have a refrigerator, and because of the code requirement, you also want to have ground fault, or you need to have ground fault protection on that circuit. Hey, wouldn't it be nice if you got a text notification and push if that circuit were to trip? You have $100, $200, $300 worth of meat or food down there. So that is something that this device will do. It's intelligent enough that if that goes into a trip mode, it'll send that notification to you. Also, it comes with an audible alarm, so almost like a smoke detector. If that goes into trip mode, it's going to start beeping and chirping at you, so you're going to know if you are in the home, hey, what's that noise? And I need to go find out what's going on and address that. So you won't necessarily be able to hide from it. Whereas a standard GFI doesn't have that technology, and you really wouldn't know that it tripped until around this time of year. You went to plug in your Christmas lights and you didn't have power, or maybe you went to plug in a hair dryer or curling iron and that wasn't working. So, but really, a nice niche product. Again, you won't be using this everywhere, but I think we all have those applications where having a smart device and having that device in essence speak back to you, utilizing some of the great technologies out there now. That's something that you can do, with this Wi-Fi enabled, GFI receptacle. Okay, moving into more, I'd say the commercial industrial world. And Leviton does cover, all the industries. Leviton was proud and is proud to introduce a line of power, marina, and RV pedestals. So a brand new offering for us. Again, you may not be, in an area where you are installing too many of these devices, but it's nice to know these are products that don't come up every day, that if you were to have the need for it, hey, where can I go to have someone help me, provide a quotation, provide technical support, review requirements that are necessary before I pull on my cable. And you'll see, not only, you can advance the slide, Matt, not only is it a marine or RV pedestal, but there's also power pedestals. And this has become, I'd say, ever since we all, all made it through the COVID period and all the outdoor living that I think everyone's doing more and more of these days, the power pedestals, think about situations, especially on college campuses or some of the common areas and some of these big apartment complexes that are going up, where people are congregating outside. There could be shows, there could be entertainment, and you do want to provide spots where you can tap into power. You may want to charge a phone or charge a laptop, or be able to install some temporary lighting. These are power pedestals available in a lot of different varieties, different colors, and almost like buying a car with different options and things of that nature. So again, an area we think there's more and more opportunity out there, and I think if you're in the commercial market, especially, you're going to be asked for these products as we move forward into 2024 and beyond. Okay, one of the most exciting areas is the electric vehicle supply equipment. We call it the EVSE area, and I'm sure no matter if you're in the residential market, the commercial market, if you're a contractor, if you're a distributor, you're involved in this in one way or another. This is something that's coming at us fast and furious and from a lot of different angles. Leviton's one of the few manufacturers. We've been involved with electric vehicle supply equipment since 2010, since the beginning, and we've seen many changes and advancements, but we are happy to say that there's a lot of interest and more sales dollars out there for all of us in this area. Matt, you could go to the next slide. Starting at the left, you'll see the what I'll call the entry level, residential, and everything Leviton has to offer on this screen here until we get to the one at the far right is a level 2 type product. So what I mean by that is that's a 40 amp, 30 or 40 amp, 240 volt solution. So definitely needs a contractor to make that installation, which again opens up opportunities for all of us. Leviton's offering starts with a 32 amp, jumps to a 48 amp. We also now have an 80 amp, and those are all similar to the white units you see on the screen. They're Leviton products, and the new Ford F-150 Lightning will take an 80 amp charge. Not every vehicle will, so you really do need to check, with the vehicle manufacturer and what the specs are. But many options there, and also many different mounting options that Leviton has. Looking to the right, we get into, again, still a level 2 charger, still 40 amp and 50 amp solutions, but you'll see a more commercial and an industrial design. And these are situations where, maybe you're putting this into a commercial space, a school, a hospital, certainly an office building, a restaurant, where the property owner says, hey, I want to be able to charge, for someone using the charger that's out in front of my space. So what Leviton did, we partnered with a company called ChargePoint. You'll see that noted at the top of the slide. ChargePoint is one of the largest electric vehicle supply equipment network providers in the United States. So if you wanted to know, you're planning a trip to Baltimore and you think if you have an electric vehicle, hey, where can I go and charge this at? You can go to chargepoint.com, and that'll show you a whole plethora of various charging locations that are ready, willing, and able to, support your vehicle, and you could pull in and get a charge. You could also make a reservation if hey, I think I'm going to be there at 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday. You could reserve a slot for an hour. You can go grab some lunch and while the vehicle is charging. So Leviton has both a single holster and a dual holster unit in the level 2 charging area and the ChargePoint unit. And we did have, and we do show at the far right, a 480 volt solution. We're actually going to exit that business pretty soon and look at a different option. That is what's called a DC fast charge. And sometimes in the industry, it's called a level 3 charger. And you are seeing some of those specified now at car dealerships and things like that, as all the auto manufacturers now are offering EV options. So, you'll see a new unit from Leviton in the near future in that level 3 space. Thanks, Matt. And again, just another highlight, and really, I think, and you can advance all the bullets, Matt. I think the opportunity really is not the charger. I think a lot of times we focus on the charger because that's the cool new product. But again, for the contractors listening on the call or participating or maybe listening to this after the session, think about all the other products and the labor that's needed to make this magic happen. You know what I mean? It's the upgrading of the electrical service. It's the pipe and wire needed to put this unit outside of a restaurant or a building. Certainly making sure that the panel board and the circuit breaker spacing is available. Fittings and time clocks. Is the Wi-Fi and cellular connectivity acceptable to make this unit operate? And then some of the foundation and structural things that are needed. So really, I think that's where the opportunity for obviously labor and profitability are for our contractor friends who are participating on the call. And that's why we think this is really an exciting area and one that Leviton looks forward to, staying involved and growing as the industry changes. Okay, we're going to, kind of still stay in that commercial area. And, this you may look at it and say, hey, I've seen that before, and I've installed a product like that, and that there's not much of a wow factor there. And I'd say yes and no. I mean, Leviton's been involved with the sensor switch technology for many years. And but we did want to just take maybe a minute or two here to provide an update. There is, some new features that are available. First off is a slimline design, a little bit easier to install. They shaved about a ½ inch off the back of the device, so you don't have the problem with you're shoving these wires into a box. Very, very easy install. And probably the biggest thing is that you're putting 10, 20, or 30 of these into a space, maybe private offices or spaces that were very similar in nature. You can actually use the Bluetooth feature and set up all the timing and sensitivity settings through an app on your phone. So makes that setup much easier than popping that cover off. And we still do have the ability to set it manually. And for those of you that have messed with sensors, there's usually a sensitivity setting, a timeout setting, and then what's called an ambient light setting that allows the unit to basically, it's like a photocell, stay off when there's enough natural light coming into a space. So I guess the big news here is, again, just the more aesthetically pleasing design, and then that feature, that allows that Bluetooth connection to make it easier for everybody. We can go to the next one, Matt. Here again, smart mount fixtures, sensors, again, very unique, for warehouse lighting and areas such as that. I know a lot of times now you can get, you can order, LED fixtures that come with the sensors already incorporated. We have, units out now that can handle the 0 to 10 volt dimming ballast, and really can make it an integrated overall installation. So again, if you're getting into situations where you need to retrofit product, think of Leviton. We have a lot of neat new solutions in that area. Okay, really now we're moving back into that residential area where we're trying to make homes smarter and safer and more efficient. And here we have a couple different things we're going to cover on this session. First off, and you can go to the next slide, Matt. Leviton has a free download app called My Leviton, and the My Leviton app will work with both Leviton automated switches, receptacles, dimmers, and then also all of our smart circuit breakers. So think about situations where, in the past, maybe would you use traditional timers. Now with all the smart technology that's out there that are built into, in Leviton's case, Wi-Fi enabled switches, makes it real easy to change that switch to front door that you want to come on at 8 p.m. and off at say 5 a.m. for security purposes. You simply do that. You download the free app. You don't need a hub or any other peripheral pieces. The magic just happens, and again, no cost for that. Also all these devices will work with Amazon Alexa and the Google voice activated prompts. So if you want to sit in your couch and watch the Phillies or the Eagles and hey Alexa, please dim family room lights to 50%. That stuff happens, and I know it's something I use and my family uses every day at home. And never thought I would enjoy using that feature, but actually it's pretty cool. And again, the nice thing about that is it's all scalable. So if you want to do one switch, you do one switch. What you see now is, as I mentioned earlier, Leviton got involved with the residential 120, 240 volt load center market back in 2018. Trying to offer a new alternative solution, and taking some of the technology that we've already talked about, some of the GFI technology and arc fault technology that Leviton had in standard receptacles, and really just put it into a circuit breaker format. I guess what we wanted to share with everyone on today's session is that we've updated all of our smart breakers to a second generation, and we do have the ability now to capture and collect kW usage. So we had the electric vehicle chargers there before. We had certain people that have installed Leviton panels where they wanted to have a dedicated circuit for an EV charger. And they also would like the ability to capture, hey, how much is that thing really, costing me? So you're able to get that data, through a smart circuit breaker and a pair of CTs that you see here on the screen. So, and also an energy monitoring hub we call LWAM, LHWHEM, and just again another accessory that's available to make your home or an individual's home smarter. You go to the next one, Matt. Again, available in double pole breakers, single pole breakers, dual function, arc fault only, ground fault only. So pretty much any application you'd run into residentially, we're in a position to give you a smart option, if you so chose to have that circuit breaker for the water heater or the pool pump become a smart breaker. Again, just giving you all this information now through your phone. Your phone basically becomes another switch, and allows you the capability of staying updated on what is on, what is off in your home. If you wanted to also remotely turn off a circuit breaker, you have that capability with this. Maybe for a hot water heater at a place at the Jersey Shore, or a hunting cabin up in the mountains. So there are some nice features that are available through that smart breaker. Staying in the whole smart home realm, just to kind of give everyone an update, and Leviton's been at this a long, long time, so I won't spend much time on this, but as I mentioned, whether it's a switch, or receptacle, or a dimmer, this is a nice slide because it kind of just highlights the overall offering that Leviton has in that area. Sensor just went off on me, so I'm back. But along with the smart panel, I guess the new piece that we added was an outdoor smart switch, which is popular this time of year. Everyone gets ready for the Christmas lights, and hey, wouldn't it be nice if I had a place on my phone I could go to push that button or set the time for that receptacle to go on at 4:30 p.m. and off at midnight. So again, just a real nice snapshot of everything that's available in the Leviton smart home area. Again, that just another highlight, of that. We keep moving, Matt. Okay, moving into again another energy saving solution. I mentioned one of the common themes that we see at Leviton is what can you do to save and make the installation faster, better, safer. Also, what can you do to provide energy efficient solutions? So this is a new line of Decora push button electronic timers, where you have an option for a 15-minute, a 30-minute, a 60-minute, and a 12-hour. You can pre-select the time. This one is not a smart option; it's a manual option, but priced very, very competitively, and you have the ability to change the color. So if you said, "Hey, in this application, I really want to use a gray," those 4-button faces or 5-button faces, they pull off the base. So you simply buy a color change kit, and away you go. Both 15 and 20 amp options are available, and really, instead of using maybe an older style spring wound rotary timer or something that wasn't quite as aesthetically pleasing, this just really makes your overall installation for a bath fan, or a light, or maybe a light in a storage unit. We've had a lot of success there, where people go in the storage unit maybe once or twice a month, maybe, but you may have a strip light in there. You don't want that thing burning for 24/7 until next time you're back. So what this timer does is that it forces the user to select a time. If you select 30 minutes, the LED button will drop down from 30 to 15, 10 to 5, and then the bottom button is an override to off. So there is no capability to turn it on like a toggle switch or a rocker switch. So you pre-select the time, and away you go. One of the nice things for anyone on the call on the contracting side, if you're doing old work, Leviton's had a product like this, but our previous units all required a neutral wire. These units do not require a neutral. So we were able to find a way to make the units operate without that neutral, opening up opportunities in older homes, I should say, where you may not have that neutral wire available. And this just kind of gives you a picture from the back. One of the nicest features was the ability to make that thing shallower and smaller. So we took, said almost a ½ inch off the back of that. Also, you see that longer strap to really allow it to fit flush on the wall and sit nice if you're ganging it with other Decora devices. And some of the other options that I mentioned, a 15-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute, and then 2-hour to 12-hour type timer. And again, in 20 amp also, we did not have that feature before, and we do have the ability now to do it in 3-way also. So again, another new advancement that we didn't have before was was the ability to do a three-way. Now on the three-way, you'll see you do need a neutral, for the for that option, and that you have timers in both locations. Moving into the commercial world, and Leviton's always had, like a lot of our, competitors and other people in the industry, disconnect switches. And I guess one of the things we wanted to share with everybody on the call was, not only does Leviton have a full line of both, non-metallic and stainless steel disconnects switches, we also have now a switch with some technology built into it, which we call Inform. So the Inform technology will basically communicate back to the owner or the plant supervisor that there's condensation or water building up, or that a phase has dropped on one of the machines in the back of the factory or warehouse. So having that intelligence built in is really the advancement we wanted to share with everybody. You can get it in a 30 amp and a 60 amp offering at this time. We also are aligned and recognized with Rockwell. So if you're using or doing work in plants that have Allen Bradley, a lot of times they only like to use, other products that are listed as acceptable. And we are listed on the disconnect switch area and the pin and sleeve area as an acceptable manufacturer to be used in a Rockwell environment. So you can get these with auxiliary contacts or without, and a couple different options. So I guess the big news is just having that intelligence built into it that's going to provide, critical data to you and notification when a problem could be on the horizon. Getting towards the end, the area of sub-metering, and you can advance to the next one, Matt. Sub-metering has been a big thing for Leviton. And actually it's a very, with all the old buildings we have in the metro Philadelphia area, down into Delaware, South Jersey, there's lots of opportunities for metering. And, Leviton's been involved in the metering world now for over 10 years. And it can be as basic as what you see in that center picture with the basic 200 amp meter with some what we call solid core CTs there, where you're just going to, you want to monitor, a space just to see, hey, how much kilowatt am I really using, at the snack stand versus the lighting that could be being used at a local township park. So you can grab that circuit or those couple circuits and get that data very easily and very inexpensively by installing a sub-meter. Leviton also has many more complex applications where you want to monitor or look at a whole building. And you'll see up on the upper left-hand corner, we have software options where we can collect, all of that KW usage, give it to you in a graphical form and with software solutions. We can integrate with building management systems and do a lot of different things, both wireless and also through our Energy Manager Hub, which you see in the upper right-hand corner. So, really, if it's an area you haven't messed with much, really the purpose of this slide and today it's just letting you know that Leviton, and we actually have a local expert, a guy named Mike Wilson that lives in South Jersey. And all he does for Leviton, and he's a Leviton factory employee, is handle the world of sub-metering. So, it's a regional or a local expert to our Electrical Association of Philadelphia partners that's available to you to use, and we encourage you to do that. And at that point, we've come to the end of the Leviton presentation. We wanted to keep it right around 30 to 35 minutes. I think we've done that. And we'll open it up for some questions. And I think, Matt, you also have my slide that you were going to share at the end that had my contact information. So if anybody needed to get in contact with me, you'd be able to drop me an email.
Absolutely, Fran. Thank you so much. I do have a question in the chat in regards to the Decora Edge. Are the terminals in-out rated or just split receptacle use?
No, they have the ability to be a split terminal also. So if you're going to have half of it switched by a switch on the wall, and yes, that option is available.
Perfect. Thank you so much. There was a question in chat about affordability to the customer. I want to say to whoever asked, definitely you can check out Billa's Electric Supply. They do have these products. They'd be able to help you, price it out to your customer the best that they can. Checking no more questions in the chat. So, Mara?
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Fran, for a great presentation. And again, I just want to remind everyone to look at the screen. Please take a photo of Fran's information. We will be following up with everyone via email with Fran's contact information. The recording will be posted on EAP TV at www.eap.org/TV early next week. I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. And again, thank you, Fran. Have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving.